Oh, good evening and welcome to the midweek fix with the LFC Daytrippers. Another
Bastards.
game, another competition, another step towards the quadruple. That's how I'm putting it. If anybody wants to disagree, leave now. There's no fucking point in me discussing anything with you. Tonight is Seany, is Keith, and for the first time in the midweek fix, he's been on Sports Unplugged a couple of times. It is Luke. Luke, you're very welcome. How are you, my man?
I'm doing great. Pleasure to be invited on the midweek fix. Thank you.
Stuff. No problem at all. You're very welcome. You'll probably hate all three of us by the end of it, but look, that's life. So, before we get into Liverpool against Norwich, before we get into the FA Cup, that step towards the quadruple, as I just continue to say, because why not? Let's have a little rewind and look back to Sunday, because we done a show on Sunday night. The fat back four was deadly. Most of us were on the cans. We were massive highs after that game, and then you see all the stuff that comes out afterwards, like inside Wembley and stuff like that. Seany, have you settled down yet? I know you get on a high and you stay on a high for a long, long time, but have you settled down?
Yeah, I think that's not to belittle it, but I think that's the kind of beauty of the Carling Cup, isn't it? It's not one that pops up at the end of the season. So when it's over, like, we're straight back in now tomorrow.
Yeah.
So there's kind of no time to rest on your laurels, because literally you're indulging in all this content that they bring out, which I have to give the club a really round of applause, but they've done a really good job on the content. There's been so much of it, and the fallout of man. Just the one, man, today. Your man turned around, kept telling him, just as well he brought you on.
Oh, yeah, this is the guy.
Yeah, that was quality.
At the top of the steps. And then, is he the same fella?
Then he turns around to Jorginho and goes, fucking hell, you never missed it.
Yeah, it was clearly a fella that had blagged his way into a deadly seat, wasn't it? And he was like, fuck this, I just have to get a dig in no matter what I do here.
So there's been loads of that, but we're straight back in now. Like, you had Klopp today doing his press conference, so like it's kind of, this is going to be the team of this run-in, Gav. I think now this is the run-in now, effectively. There's 22 games left in the season, and without sounding cliche, like, you're 18, 19 wins away from history, because that's all you kind of really need to win all the trophies at this stage, because you can afford a couple of draws in the Champions League. So, it's going to be mad. If Sunday was anything to go by, it's going to be mad, because there really is an opportunity for this group of lads to make history again, because let's be honest, they're already history makers in the eyes of many.
The content has been great, and that guy doing that was great. The other one I enjoyed, and in fairness to the guy, he's come on today, I think, he's a Chelsea fan who was having an absolute rant after the game, and he was like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, what's worse than waking up to I've woken up this morning to Chelsea still being beaten in the League Cup final, and I'm trending on Scout's Twitter, and he says, I'm just watching the video all day thinking to myself, what the fuck are you talking about? And he says it's so bad in a sober light, but like some great stuff to come out of it. Keith, like, you see all the stuff around in the ground, like from 10 o'clock that morning, they have footage of different bits and the celebrations and stuff, and even little things that come out, like Costa Simicas, like literally baiting the crowd with the cup for about 5 minutes. It's just great, isn't it? It just puts you in a great mood. Like it's one trophy out of the way. It's end of February, start of March, and as Seany says though, Klopp's all back doing press conferences. We're getting updates on Thiago, and we're ready to go again. And you now know it's the business end of the season.
Yeah, so we touched on it, Gav, didn't we? That we're not usually under Klopp, and anyway, we're not usually celebrating a League Cup win. And it does. Seany hit the nail on the head there. It's February, it's a trophy, and you're straight back into it. Do you know what I mean? There's no sort of messing about. You're ready to go. We're looking to push on, and it does give you that little catalyst, that little kick up the arse, and it's just brilliant. We're all business. We say it all the time. This squad It's as good a squad as I've ever seen. People say, you know, for strength and depth around 2001 was good. This squad is out of this world for me, and the camaraderie and the togetherness in them is just brilliant. So when you're looking at all these, the inside Wembley, inside train, and all these videos, like, it's absolutely brilliant when you see Tsimikas, you touched on there. He's having some buzz. Do you know what I mean? The fella's not getting much of a game. It doesn't look like he's alienated in that squad. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like he's pushing to get a move and you know what I'm saying?
He's come out in the last week with a couple of different things where he said, like, he knows he's not first choice left back, and he knows it's actually pushing him on. It's, you know, and he feels it's his job to push Andy Robertson, you know, and that's the mentality we're in the squad. It's not like, I'm not playing and I'm gonna fucking throw me toys out of the pram. He's basically come out and said, I know how good Andy Robertson is, and it's my job to push him. It's actually his job to make sure that Andy Robertson is at the absolute peak every single game, and that's an unbelievable attitude to have.
Yeah. Oh, and what better place to learn? Do you know what I mean? At Liverpool, under Klopp, learning off Andy Robertson, learning beside Virgil van Dijk. Do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't... We always say, there's always this thing that it's very hard to sign a player who knows he's not going to be a starter. But the flip side is when they're training and playing with these, it looks great crack. That's sort of what I'm trying to say. Liverpool looks like fucking great crack if you're a player. Do you know what I mean? Like, this year, the crowds are back. It's going well. It's the best place to be. And as a destination and a place to sign, Tsimikas has shown. You go there, you might not play every time, but you're learning, you're constantly improving, and whatever happens, the same with Queevy and Kelleher, you know, whatever happens, they leave as better players, and that's what you want with a player that's not going to be playing all the time. Do they embrace their role in the squad? Yeah, and we see that with Tsimikas. We see that with other players, with Naby, with Taki, that don't get a game, and you can see how the squad want to bring them in and how they adapt to the squad. It's just, I love seeing it all because you get that insight into the players that you wouldn't be seeing. Look, we all know what Van Dijk and Alisson and Fabinho, you know, all these lads that are there all the time. But I love seeing how the other boys, the lads on the fringes are getting on. And yeah, I think it's great. I think the content after this, it's always the business. You can eat them up, especially, you know, when it comes to leagues and European Cups, definitely. But the Carling Cup, yeah, we'll take that. We'll start as we mean to go on.
It's Chris Brack says, just by the way, after watching Inside Wembley, if you don't love Joel Matip, you are dead inside. You can tell the whole squad adore him. The man is an absolute head case. Like, from start to finish, he's an absolute head case, and I love the bounds of him. But with Tsimikas, like, Tsimikas, I think, is looking there going, Robertson is unbelievable. You know what I mean? Spurs are losing 1-0, by the way, to Borough. But you could make a case that Tsimikas is probably comfortable in the fact that, all right, he's back up to a certain extent, but he must know by now that Liverpool have no issues with sticking him in for any league game or any cup game or any Champions League game for that matter. Because when he comes in, it's nearly seamless. And he offers something different to Andy Robertson. I'm not saying he offers something better, but he offers something different to Andy Robertson. And at the same time, it never looks like we're weakened. And Tsimikas has to look at that, the age he's at. I'm not too sure what difference is between him and Andy Robertson. But Tsimikas could easily be here for 3-4 years, gradually getting more and more games every season, and end up being Liverpool's left back. Simple as that. And I know people like to play football, but if you're in a squad like this, it looks fucking loads of fun. Yeah. And if you can go to work and have loads of fun every day of the week, like, who cares after that? Do you know what I mean? Luke, Seany mentioned something there. He said, like, 22 games, maximum 22 games if we want to go and do a quadruple. I'll ask you the question because you haven't been asked this before, because I ask the lads all the time, and I asked myself, I only asked myself in the shower there about 15 minutes ago about the quadruple. But how excited are you by it? I know it's a huge ask, but this is where you want to be, isn't it? Every season, this is where you want to be come the 1st of March.
Yeah, like, absolutely. With the chances of the quadruple, until it's impossible, it's still possible for me. And I felt like with the League Cup final, I think it was more important as just keeping that momentum going, especially the race for City. It just looks like just winning that trophy, getting that trophy in the bag, like the team, to get to celebrate it in front of the fans, because we missed out on celebrating the league in front of the fans, I think is massive for the squad of players to just keep pushing to the end of the season, then hey, if Liverpool complete football, it's perfect.
Yeah, I like that.
So
Could we just right? So before any other fucker thinks of doing it, right? If we do the quadruple, right, we are going to do a T-shirt with just the 4 trophies on it with "Cleared It, Mate" written on it. Right,
Yeah.
that's it. And if anyone else does it, we're
Completed it.
considering a copyright violation. Okay, so we're throwing it out there now. But you're right.
put your spade in there as well, Luke. You should coin that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have 6 to 7% of the profits, if that's okay. I'm only messing. We give all our profits away to charity, so it doesn't matter. You've made a fortune for some charity that we'll be looking after towards the summer. But it is so exciting for me. 22 games, and I know people that go, "Oh fuck, lads, my head would be gone." I like Seany, hands up, will fucking tell you. Seany will be, it'd be like if he's not being given sedatives in a pharmacy every 4 to 5 hours on a daily basis, like God knows where Seany will end up, because he's fucking insane when it comes to football. And Keith is a bit more relaxed, but I love it. And the reason I love it is because I spent so many years watching Liverpool going, if we could just get 5th, if we could just get 6th, could we get a spot in Europe? Or can we get rid of this fucking Egypt managing us? And it just goes on like that. But now I've just come to the stage where I'm old enough to go, you have to enjoy this while it's happening. And I said it the other night, we could come out with 1 trophy, but enjoy every single minute of it, because it won't be for a lack of trying from this squad, and it won't be from a lack of quality. You may have an off night and you get done, fine, but just enjoy every single minute. Captain Sal says, if Gav says the quad is on, then it's on, and he has an emoji of a beer beside us, so like he's fucking 10 out of 10. He's more or less my best mate now, you know what I mean? But looking forward, people are going to keep us updated on Middlesbrough and Spurs. I think it's still 1-0 to Middlesbrough. I think Luke might have it on another screen here as well. So
no, I've turned it off now.
You've turned it off. Okay, you were afraid of the radiation as well, were you? Like Keith. But looking forward to tomorrow, like I think it was Red Steve said earlier, it looks like Norwich will make changes. They have a couple of injury suspensions. Their captain, I think, is injured or suspended. Seany, I'll come to you first. What way do Liverpool approach this? Because it's still 120 minutes on Sunday. It's still a penalty shootout. There's a lot of fucking emotion in that. There's a lot of stress in that. There's a lot of physical and mental stuff in it. Then you have the celebrations, which I'm sure weren't absolutely over the top because they're professional footballers playing a game on a Wednesday. But what does Klopp do with this? Because he has all these options, but every game seems to be a difficult decision for him to make with regards to starting lineup, subs, and leaving people out.
Yeah, there's been a few little, like there was about 20 minutes there when we had a fully fit squad.
It was great, wasn't it?
All lousy, but a couple of injuries can it does make something like this difficult. But if we're being honest, there should be enough there that didn't play a lot of minutes on Sunday or didn't play at all to get the job done. So that should kind of give Klopp one less headache. There is players I'd still be looking to play. Honestly, I'm not being what people might think this is mad. I'd throw Luis Diaz back in if he was fit, because I think momentum now is just going to be key for him, because he just seems to be white hot at the moment. And I know he's discussed it last night on the Winners and Losers show. I think his output will start to go up, and I think that's just with minutes, Gav. I think with minutes he will. So he is one I'd look to play. You have Chamberlain, who didn't get minutes. You have Minamino, who didn't get minutes. You have Elliott, who comes on, who can play there. You have Origi. You have Kanate. The Simicas, who didn't kick a ball. I know he goes on like Moreno, but the fella is actually a really good player. He's not just a cheerleader, you know what I mean? He's good to have around. You could even throw Alisson in, give Alisson the armband. Gomez is there who can play. This is the beauty now, Gavin. This is why we should be confident of challenging on all fronts, because we actually have a squad to do so now. You know what I mean? This could have been a game away to Norwich last night, tomorrow night, and you'd still be confident. So, look, again, I just think it's kind of an autopilot thing now for me as a fan. I'm just going to show up to watch. That's all I can kind of do. Doesn't matter
I don't think they're going to ask you to play.
So no, but what I mean
watching
is,
might be the limit.
I'm at a stage now where I don't worry about what sort of 11 goes out.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
look at
fair show.
I don't look at an 11 and go, oh, for fuck's sake. I just knock it on. 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever the game kicks off, just knock it on and enjoy it, because it's not going to be like this forever. No. It's not. The chances are it might never get this good again. Because that's just the moment we're in now. So, look, and I reckon there might be a few players with an axe to grind with Klopp who didn't get minutes.
Yeah, I'm absolutely all right with that.
So, and that's where you need to prove yourself. Like, you know what I mean? I seen a few people in the chat there talking out about Curtis Jones. He didn't even get into the picture where everyone was congratulated. And it seemed to be like a passive-aggressive thing of him saying, well done to all involved. So, this could be lighting fires on that people got, because at the end of the day, when you're collecting winners' medals, you've got to be ruthless. And just on the topic of the quadruple, I know they did a treble, but I listened to a podcast the other day, and Lee Sharp was on it. And he was talking about the mentality of the dressing room around the time of the treble. And it was never really thought of between the group of players until they won the FA Cup, he was saying. That
Newcastle,
it was like,
I think.
Yeah. And he was like, we had a dance partner the whole way. They win the league by a point, I think. They beat Arsenal to the league by a point. So he's saying, like, literally, that sort of pressure, it works both ways. It can either make you crumble or it can push you on. And I can really see it pushing this team on, because we looked at the inside Wembley the other day, and you can see a few of them, like Virgil you could see Virgil is arrogance a little bit, as if to say, like, this is it. Like, this is only the Carabao Cup. You have so much more to do. And I just feel now, whatever lineup turns out tomorrow, we'll be rolling teams out. Anfield will be rocking tomorrow night as well. Make no bounds about it. So, look, every game is huge from here. There's no break now. I don't see a break in the season where you go, there's a couple again. There will be no break now, because this is what we're in. We're in winning mode, and it's the 1st of March. So bring it on,
Keith. There is loads of options there. There is players that are being left out of squads. Like Harvey Elliott was left out of the squad on Sunday until Thiago gets an injury and they bring him back in, and he ends up on the pitch, right? And Seany's right. Like, if you're not trusting what Jurgen Klopp is picking every week, find something else to fucking do. Like, I don't know what else he's to do to prove to you that he's picking what he believes is the right team for Liverpool. You won't agree with it on certain players. You won't agree on maybe on a formation or substitutions or whatever it might be. But when that 11 comes out, you have to say to yourself, I do it all the time, Keith. I go, I'm not too sure about that midfield. But then I kind of go, but let's watch it, because he knows a lot more than me, right? What's Seany said as well about United going back 22 years, 23 years now, where they didn't really think about it. You know, they just kept going and kept going and kept going. Do you think we'll be the same? Or do you think Klopp looks at this the other night and goes, there's a bit more on this now? If we'd have lost Sunday, the whole quadruple talk is out. You know what I mean? And he could probably dump the FA Cup now and go for 2. But because he's won that, what is that? Is his attitude like, I'm starting 7 of what I would start in a league game? Or am I starting 3? Where do you think he goes with this? Because I understand that you won't be absolutely thinking about it, but in the back of your head, it has to be there, Keith. Just keep staying in these things, because where could it go?
Yeah, I think publicly they'd say, no, look, not for us, this isn't. But Seany touched on something there. He said, you know, what Lee Sharp was saying, that they had the chase with Arsenal, and I think that's what sort of maybe City have fallen down with in Europe, in that they've cantered to leagues and they're not on. They don't have that edge when it comes to the later stages of European competition. Where when we won the Champions League a couple of years ago, we were still in a race with City. We were on the 97-point season. Do you know what I mean? Like, so momentum is a huge thing for this Liverpool team. Now, I think inwards, Klopp is not saying to them, but the squad, well, they're not probably actively going for the quadruple. I'd say they're all well aware that the quadruple is very, very, very much on. Because you look at the way the season is panning out now. We've got a home game against Norwich in the FA Cup tomorrow. You know, without picking a lower league team, you probably couldn't have done better than that. We've got a 2-0 lead against Inter Milan in the Champions League, coming into a home tie there. Again, do you know what I mean? Inter Milan, a bit of pressure, but They didn't show anything that would make me think that they're going to absolutely turn us over in the return leg there. Now, that's not to disrespect them, but we've set ourselves up nicely in that as well. With the league, you're right. The fact that City dropped points and we've put ourselves back into that mix, that's the shot in the arm, I think, that gives everything credence now for the rest of the season. Klopp will look at every game like a cup final now, because every game essentially is a cup final. There's no downtime. I've said, Norwich at home, it's a great thing. He's not going to go to, like, I can't see Adrian getting a game in
He's
this.
not going to do. He's not going to do League Cup away to Norwich or League Cup away to Preston levels of stuff.
No, we won't see the Conor Bradleys or, Reece Williams or any of these lads. And no disrespect to them. Tyler Morton and the likes. They've done well. They got the early rounds of League Cups in. But now it's the business end. Every game from now on in. If they go out with the FA Cup, they're not going to be too upset.
Oh, he will.
I know, we all will.
I think they will now.
Well,
I think that win on Sunday just changes things just a little bit.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, everything is still there on the table. But what I'm saying is, if they were to lose in the FA Cup, they'll say, right, we've lost the FA Cup. We still focus on the other things. But I can't see him risking even losing in that FA Cup by bringing in a younger player. I think now it's all focusing on every game. Let's win every game. And I think Liverpool and Klopp perform better under that sort of pressure than dead games, maybe. That they can take their eye off or they can lose a bit of focus. I think if he's in there and he has them drummed up to 90, I can't see a reason why we won't win that. And it's mad to say that. We weren't saying this a month ago. Do you know what I mean? We were not talking about a quadruple. Right, technically we were still in. But now everything's changing. We've won in the bag. We've cut a lead in the league. We've done everything and more that we wanted. We've got a new player in who has just injected everything into the squad. Like, everything is going right for us at the moment. So I don't think there's any reason why these players will, Lee Sharp saying the United players didn't think about it until the end of the season. I'd say this Liverpool team are well focusing on it, like they were a few years ago when there was talk of the unbeaten season. Do you know what I mean? When we were
29
Watford,
games, I think.
29 games. And obviously they were focusing on that and it just went. I think there's a chance that the players will know that this is achievable. This is within reach. And they just have to treat every game like it's the last game they'll ever play. And there's no better coach to put them through that, in my opinion, than Klopp.
Luke, is there an argument here to say that he has got, like, the perfect mix of players and games and, decisions he has to make to actually allow them to think about this? Because, we talk about Curtis Jones not involved, or whoever's, Minamino hasn't been involved in squads, other players being left out. Has he got the perfect mix where allow them to look at the 4 trophies and allow them to, and just throw it in, don't demand it, but you can let the conversation go a little bit at times? Because if I'm in a Liverpool squad and I'm not playing in the Carabao Cup on Sunday, right? But it comes Wednesday and I am playing. I want to prove that I can play against West Ham at the weekend or Inter Milan next midweek, and I'm going to help this team get to the absolute pinnacle. Do you think it's okay to just have a little mention of it within the squad because of the players we're trying to mix and match, because of the depth we have now, I suppose, and the amount of games we have to play? Like, I think someone said there 3 in 6 days.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the age of social media, I think it's going to get in the dressing room anyway about the quadruple, because ever since Liverpool's won the Carabao Cup, that's pretty much what I've seen on Twitter, on the radio. Or can Liverpool do the quad? Can Liverpool do the quad? Is it possible? So I think it's already seeped into the dressing room, but I think for it to seep in a little bit, especially for the players that haven't maybe got as much minutes as they would have liked, like Curtis Jones, Minamino, Origi, Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think you're finding it now with a full squad. Like, players are struggling to even get on the bench. So players are desperate to prove themselves to make sure that they even make it on the bench or make it even the match day squad. So I think it's crucial, but I'm pretty sure Klopp's going to be like, yeah, you can talk about it a little bit, but yeah, like, back to business, back to the FA Cup. And I think it's good that Liverpool are actually playing tomorrow. So sort of, get the League Cup out of the way, right, straight on to the next one, straight on to Wednesday, and then move on to the West Ham. I think I kind of like it when it's like 3 games in 6 days, because there's no time to rest on your laurels or
no time to think.
Still be celebrating the League Cup.
Yeah, there's just no time to think, is there?
No, absolutely. And I think that's when you see the best version of Liverpool, especially after we won the Club World Cup, came straight back to Leicester. That
absolutely volleyed them, which was amazing.
Yeah, which was probably one of the best performances under Klopp, and that was less than 2 days after they win the Club World Cup. And I think that's when you see the best versions. I just feel like this season is going to be like 18-19, but the roles are going to be flipped. It's going to be us that's going to win the league by a point, and us that are going to win the Champions League.
Okay, you're invited to the party after that. To be perfectly honest with you, Seany, you know, we'll get in, and they will have a look at it, but it can be used, can't it, as a driving force? You know, like Klopp always talks about, like Kelleher's a major part in winning that game Sunday, and Klopp's talking about, you know, there's a special area in I was going to say Melwood, but the AXA training centre for goalkeepers that have won competitions, you know, and he'll be up there. He's always talking about what you get out of what you do. Do you know what I mean? Like the return for it. And I'm not talking about the fame and this. I'm talking about Klopp is going, look, they'll talk about you for years. He done it with Coutinho. He told them, stay here and they'll build you a statue. Go there and you'll be somebody, just a normal player. And he was proven right. I think it has to be an ingredient, Seany, where he just hits a nerve every so often, just to jolt them and just to make them all feel like they're part of something, because like Seany could go down as the best football team you've ever seen. Genuinely, they could go down as the best football team that Britain has ever seen.
Yeah, but look, take this season take last season out of the equation, right? Because of what happened. We had a discussion last night between ourselves about, like, when you look at the shit that went on last year on and off the pitch, it's a miracle in a way that we even got fourth, never mind finished fourth. Like, we understood the so many mitigating circumstances that he couldn't really do anything about. Klopp coming out before the final saying that he actually couldn't be asked with football last year at one stage was very telling. But go back to 1920, Gav, when it was every week, even though when it was ominous, you know, the coronation of us being Premier League champions, I think it predated Christmas, if I'm being honest.
It was United, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and it was a coronation then, wasn't it? Like,
I think we were 18 wins, 18 games, 17 wins, 1 draw.
It was basically about, are they gonna go unbeaten and how many points are they gonna get? And they always just, because of what surrounded it, the narrative of being told the years, you could see them always pricking our Henderson, going, what do you think of this? And they always said the same thing. They said it's one game at a time, and you kind of thought to yourself, you're a bullshitter, Jordan. You've thought about this. You know exactly what you're going to do. But to be honest with you, Gav, having seen Klopp speak last week, I believe it now more than I did then, because he said something about the final, and he was like, Klopp said, I don't want to sound cliche, but we literally prepare for every single game like it's a final. We leave nothing on the table. We leave no stone unturned. We literally treat every game like it's a final. We don't look past any side that we come up against. And he said we won't change any approach to Chelsea in the final because nothing changes. He said nothing changes because this has literally been our approach since we became... He said basically since we've won the Champions League, that became our approach. It wasn't even blocks of games anymore. Yeah. It was literally one game at a time. And I think that's what it is, Gav. And it's just... Like
did last season solidify that, Seany, because you couldn't plan blocks of games last season?
Last season
there was mayhem from the final whistle to the start of the next game. Was mayhem.
It was just like, for all that to work, Gav, you need your key components in place. All right, going back to them again, and we can only really use them because they're the only barometer that we have. Let's be honest. United again. Sharp said we knew on a bad day if Schmeichel was in the team and Roy Keane was in the team, we were going to be okay. If we didn't turn up, they would, and we get results. And we've got players like that. I feel the same about Van Dijk. I feel the same about Alisson. I'd even I'm starting to put Fabinho into that.
Yeah.
Into that.
That's just fine.
And I just kind of feel that way about it. You know, I just think once them lads are on the pitch and fit, on a bad day you might not even get out in office. On a bad day you could still get beat by this Liverpool team. So I just think one game at a time, and it's box ticking from here for me, Gav. Because if we do our job, we win it all. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I've no problem with the one game at a time thing. But I still think you can do one game at a time and still have the end game being part of the discussion.
Obviously, Gav, these lads have been on the bus with the European Cup in front of the fans. They know what it means.
Yeah.
It'll be cataclysmic if they win the league. Even if they just win the league again, it will literally be end the day stuff. Because they all missed an opportunity. They all missed an opportunity. Everybody did with COVID. When you look back, it was great seeing the scenes of them in the hotel and all together. They wanted to be with the fans. They wanted to be the night of the Chelsea game, walking out onto that arch now where the new main stand is, standing on top of that. They will have all envisaged that. But they know what they've got to do now to get there. They've literally been to every dance now. They've been to every dance and fucking won it. That's the difference with this Liverpool team. They've played Champions League finals. They've won Premier League titles. They have the goal. We have more in the Arsenal than City do. I'm thinking now. I just think now we're a better team than City.
Yeah.
I think in the moment we are a better team than City. And honestly, I was looking there. They don't do what we do. I'm thinking there tonight going, there's City through, there's Palace through. Jesus, Spurs are struggling there. That Middlesbrough could be a team you get in the quarter final. Then you're a game away from Wembley, and then by the time you're playing semi-finals in Wembley, you probably know who you're going to be playing in the semi-final of a Champions League, and it's all coming together. And City are going to be going through that process again, and I believe they were shite again tonight.
Poor by the sounds of it. Yeah, Spurs are out.
And a full strength team as well.
Very, very strong. They went very strong.
I feel like they're paddling backwards at this stage.
He looks like he's trying to put. He looks like he's throwing darts to see what stick.
We seem like a bit like a locomotive at the moment. The juggernaut is going again, and you're just throwing in the spice of Diaz. You've Jota there ready for me. Bobby will be coming back around. Like Thiago's injury is not too bad. What I'm trying to say is, Gav, we have our ducks in a row now, and it's up to if this team applies itself. I fail to see. Look, it can happen in a one-off final, but I fail to see over two legs who deals with us in the Champions League or who want the players. We will literally be the last team that everyone wants coming out.
You'll see it when if we beat Inter and go into the quarter-final draw. If you can put a bet on it, put a bet on somebody from Spanish or German TV or whatever it might be, or British TV, standing outside the draw an hour before it happens and basically reeling off teams that you've spoken to the representatives and they've all said Liverpool are the one they don't want. It just
because that machine again, Gav. We are that machine, and I don't like opposition fans can look, but they can't fucking argue this. Like this is not up for debate. This isn't a debate. This is not bias. Like we are operating at a fucking mental level at the moment.
Someone said to us yesterday, Seany, that Liverpool have lost 2 games since last April.
Yeah,
2 games since the Madrid
Champions League. Madrid. Yeah.
And the narrative is mental, though, isn't it?
About 50
because
games.
We were done. This was the Liverpool team that was done. Remember?
Yeah.
But even when you take last season into consideration, right, we were top of the league till Christmas. You don't win any trophies for that. We were the best running in the league. It was literally that period, that 6 weeks.
It's a 10-game period.
And it absolutely killed us.
Yeah.
But if you look at, 6 home games in a row where we don't win, silly games, if you take that little period out of a 4-year stretch, this team is phenomenal. Like, not even just good, phenomenal. Man City are doing it as well at the same sort of poke as us, but they're working off a different sheet. They're working off a bottomless pit of money and bringing in all these players, which fair play. That's their thing. You know what I mean? That's the way they want to do it. But they're playing football not without a soul. Yeah, fuck it, without a soul. They're playing football without a soul. There's no emotion in Man City. They're like a robot. They're like a machine. And I'll always use the comparison with us and them. It's like Drago and Rocky. They're just like a fucking Ivan Drago training in the gym, getting the steroids, a perfect killing machine. And we're Rocky. We're out in the Bleeding Mountains. Shawnee's favourite video there. Smoking. You know what I mean? Out in the Bleeding.
Can I throw a shout out now?
Is it another friend on a fucking train drunk?
No. This is just a shout. This is a shout. Like,
okay.
Always real.
This is a shout.
Yeah, there is.
Many people might not agree with me. I was thinking about this today. Chelsea are a bigger threat to our quadruple hopes than Man City are.
Well, you have to look at. We have to play City in the league.
I would prefer to play City over 2 legs in the Champions League than that Chelsea side.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I would prefer to draw City in the FA Cup than City. And honestly, because
is it just because you want to get a hold of them?
Do you know what, Gav? They have previous of getting slapped around the place by us, and we're the only team that really does it to them. They've been, and we haven't done it to them in a few years, and we owe them. We slapped them around.
So it is that, Shawnee. You just want to get hold of them.
Yes.
You feel like they're avoiding us.
100%.
I feel like we're in their head, and they.
So if I said to you tomorrow, Liverpool will get Man City at home in the FA Cup, they'll draw Manchester City in the European Cup quarter-final, and we have to go to City with 7 games to go, and if we win, we will go 1 point clear. You're taking that.
Yeah, we will we'd obliterate them.
The last time that happened, we got on it, didn't we? Like, we had them in the Champions League.
I'm telling you now, lads. I'm telling you now. This City team, they're not great. They've last year they took over the league when fucking we fell apart. They're elvoid is. They are completely elvoid is. They're relying on their wingers to get goals.
They look down like this tonight. They didn't look great tonight at all.
No, honestly, I swear to God, that Chelsea team have more heart than that City side. That's why they won the Champions League. They have more heart. City have players like the only one in their squad who I think has the go for it is Bernardo Silva. You look at the weekend, you look at Azpilicueta, you look at Rudiger, you look at Kovacic, look at Havertz. They were going out their way to they were fighting for the badge. They were shithousing. They were doing everything to gain an edge. Look at Kyle Walker after a Trent Alexander interview.
I was about to say that, yeah.
That was crazy.
Wet nappy. Honestly, a fucking wet nappy is the best way I can use to describe him.
Unbelievable.
Hannah alone says we're definitely in Pep's head, but I think they'll go on another mad run, and they've slapped us around a few times. Christopher Carroll says Liverpool FC are an absolute unit. I've supported since the late 70s. This squad is probably the best I've seen. And that is a fucking serious shout if you're watching them since the late 70s, I can tell you.
City are flapping big time.
No, listen,
you don't have
to convince me. You don't have to convince me. If you told me I had to play City 22 games from now to the end of the season, I play City every week, and whoever wins the most wins.
How many nights sleep do you reckon Pep gets if he draws us in the Champions League?
Between now and the end of the season?
Yeah.
4.
He'll turn up at the game like fucking...
Yeah, 4,
he'll
but
turn up like Christian Bale in The Machinist, he will, at the bleeding thought of it. He'll be fucking in a heap, he will, on match day, coming out like a bleeding skeleton.
But, like, this is what you're in it for. You know, and look, I'm sure City fans might watch this and go, "What the fuck are they talking about?" But
I'll tell you what we're talking about, Gav. This is what we've talked about this before. They are the best leaders of the lot, but they're fucking terrible chasers, and they don't like pressure.
They need everything to be perfect for them. Pep needs everything to be perfect.
Like pressure. They don't like it. They don't deal with it well. They don't. They shit the bed.
Well, I'm all up for it, and to be honest with you, City will get Middlesbrough at home in the next round because that's probably being boxed off already. So I'm sure when the draw comes out, they've probably got them. Or Boreham Wood if they beat Everton.
Look look over Neil, will you, Fernandez, we rely on our wingers. Will you fuck off, Neil? Will you go somewhere else trying to wind me up?
He'll see it on Xbox in about half an hour, and you can discuss it.
He's getting removed off my friends list because of that.
You're going from an important friend on Xbox to just a normal friend now because of that.
Acquaintance.
You'll be further down the list when he's looking to see who's online. Let's move it on. Let's look to this game tomorrow. Let's try to do some team predictions. Let's try to do some score predictions. And I'm very interested to see what ways are going to go with this team, I'm being honest with you. You all get a chance to pick your 11. That's absolutely fine. And, of course, when you are given a score prediction, if Liverpool are scoring goals, you have to predict the scorers. Luke, I'll come to you first. Liverpool's 11 for Norwich tomorrow night in the FA Cup 5th round. What way do you see it going?
Well, I've been seeing in the comments, and apparently Klopp said that Alisson's starting tomorrow, so that's one position that's already picked in my mind. I think we'll see Joe Gomez, Konate. I don't know who we're going to see at right back because I don't want to see Trent. I don't know about Milner, and I'm not sure where Conor Bradley's at the moment. I don't know whether or not he's injured or he's just out of favour at the moment. So I think I'll put Joe Gomez at right back. I'll put Konate and a returning Reece Williams.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just don't know. I would have said Milner, but he played the last 25 minutes and he played all of extra time. And with Milner, if he plays back-to-back games, his hamstring goes and he's out for a couple of weeks. So it's probably best not to risk him. So I'd have.
So
Reece
you have
Williams
Alisson. You have Alisson, Gomez. Who have you got centre back?
Konate, Reece Williams.
Okay, left back.
Tsimikas.
Okay, right. He's got. I love this. Midfield three.
This is a difficult one because I think Henderson's going to start. And I think he's going to give him 60 minutes, and then he's going to take him off. And I think either side of him is going to have Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott next to him.
Okay. And a front three?
I think it's going to have Minamino, Divock Origi, I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
So you're really using the squad here in a massive way.
Yeah,
okay.
I'd have Mane on the bench and Jota on the bench. And then I'd leave the likes of Salah, Trent, Van Dijk, take Wednesday off.
Looking towards West Ham and Inter.
Yeah. And I'll see you for training for West Ham.
Okay. Jer Cahill just says, Jesus, when that team came in, which is unbelievable. But listen, stranger things have happened. Conor Bradley played the other day and scored for the 23, says Passio. So there you go. Is Luke trying to lose us this game, says Motor Sir Ali? No, but no. I can see where, this is why I was asking you all these questions. How strong does he go looking back on Sunday, looking towards West Ham? Because you still have, despite everything we say, they still have a priority list. There's no doubt about it. West Ham is the biggest fucking game of these three. There's no doubt about it. You know, Inter goes down a level because of the result in the San Siro. But we've marked it. Listen, they're not going to let you forget it in the chat anyway, Luke. So we don't even need to take a note. So, Keith, what's your 11?
Yeah, Alisson in goal. I agree. I'd go Gomez at right back, Konate, but I would play Matip in centre back, and I would go Tsimikas left back. Mm-hmm. Because the reason I wouldn't go with Conor Bradley at right full is if they play, and I don't know if he's fit, if they play Rashika, he gave Joe Gomez enough bleeding trouble in the league game, and I think he could really target a young lad like Conor Bradley. So that's why I think now there's no room for the young lads now, unfortunately, at this stage. We're into the business end. So that's what I'd go. Gomez, Konate, Matip and Tsimikas. In the midfield's a difficult one. I'd go with I agree it'll be Henderson and Curtis Jones, I would imagine, will play. I would go with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and to me, that's a horrific midfield because I think the problem with that is I think Oxlade-Chamberlain Curtis Jones, Naby Keita, whenever two of that three play together, we lose
We don't work enough.
bit of it doesn't. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I think they're sort of vying for one position, really. Those three lads with two more controlling players, or you could throw Harvey Elliott into that mix as well. But I think it will be. I think it'll be using the squad in the midfield. So I think Jones and Oxlade-Chamberlain will come in. Naby done well the other day. I thought he got stuck in for someone that came in cold when he did. He elbowed Mason Mount in the chest and he went down holding his face, and then he bleeding kicked Trevor Chalobah in the stones. I thought he done well, thought he got stuck in, but I just think with the fact that Curtis and Ox didn't play a minute, I think they'll play this one. And up front, I think it will be Divock Origi, I think it will be Jota, and I think it'll be Minamino. Just because I think Jota needs minutes. Now, I think we'll possibly could see any of the front three because of the 5 subs. I think, or the front 4, you know, Mane, Salah, Diaz, or Jota, we could see 2 of them playing and starting this game. We could see Minamino in a midfield position. You know, there's so many options if he wants to use that squad, but I think we will see, right, obviously we know Alisson, but I still think we see Matip, I still think we'd see Hendo, and I still think we'd see at least one of the usual front 4 up there.
I think Alisson will play. I don't think he's leaving him out Sunday and Wednesday before we play West Ham on a Sunday. Or, yeah, on Saturday, sorry. Gomez, right back, I think is a good show. But I think...
You need to remember, lads, the 5 sub changes everything.
Yeah. You've loads of scope there. You've loads of scope.
Yeah, but it means you can even start when you probably want to rest. And if you get comfortable enough in the game, you can get him out at half time without running out of changes.
Yeah, do you know what? You've changed my mind then. Trent, right back. Gomez, Kanate, centre back. Tsimikas, left back. I think you go Henderson, Milner, Jones. And I think that's a mix where you can get a bit more control and a bit more structure to the midfield, especially when you lose the ball. Because I think we suffered a bit with the midfield we played. I think at home to Norwich in the league where we were getting not overrun, but they were running. They were allowed to run, I suppose, in the early stages of the game. And then up front, I think you go Minamino, Jota, Oxlade-Chamberlain. That's what I think. No, I think you do Minamino. I think Jota needs. He didn't look fit at the weekend. Now, unless he decides he might give him another 30, you know, towards the end of the game. But Minamino, I think, will start. Now, Seany said earlier, and I actually agree with him, that you put Diaz in again. But I've no problem with Diaz coming on and getting 25 and playing at the weekend, because I think he will play at the weekend. So, and I want to see Oxlade-Chamberlain as a side. I'm not as big a fan as a front 3 player, but if you have Minamino and you have Jota, you need a bit of an injection and pace, a bit of directness, and I think that's where it will go. And like Seany says, you can put 9 on the bench and pick 5, man. So you can
Mane will start tomorrow.
Do you think Mane will? Well, you're here. Go on, give us your 11 because you haven't given yours.
Because I can see it being, obviously Thiago's out. I can see him look, that Porto game at home, the Champions League, might be the blend he goes with. I think. I know Norwich put it up to us for an hour, but we were poor in the first half. I think that they're the team where you could throw. They're going to be making changes as well. Don't forget. The talk is
that they have got some injuries.
We don't know whether Martin is going to be.
They have a big game against Brentford at the weekend, I think.
Yeah, I think Alisson starts. I think he'll go Gomez right back. I think he'll play Kanate, Matip, and Tsimikas. And I know that's 3 as 4 centre backs starting the game, but Gomez needs minutes, and I feel Kanate and Matip have been fine in terms of injuries this season. I think the midfield, I think Henderson's minutes are starting to be managed big time.
Yeah.
But I think you might start Henderson with a look to getting him out. Probably, maybe at half time, definitely on 60. I wouldn't be surprised to see Martin at the base of a midfield either, to be honest with you. Because I think that lad has proved he can play.
Yeah, he's a good footballer.
He's
I
a
thought
good
he was
footballer.
injured. I thought he was injured.
Maybe he
Apparently
is.
He came off against Arsenal under 23s injured, apparently. So
Oh,
didn't know
but
he was
if
out.
they, but right, so that's that out the window. So Chamberlain will
That's you told.
Chamberlain and Jones will start. I think Chamberlain and Jones will definitely start. I think Mane will start. Mane gets hooked on 60.
Yeah.
The other day.
And he's not happy about it either.
Yeah. And I reckon Klopp always throws one of them in because, opposition team look at that and they say, for Jesus sakes, Mane's in. I think it could be Mane, Origi, Taki.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think as hard as it is to believe, I think Jota might have been rushed back for the final. To be honest with you, just to be in the squad. I think
left out of it then just to bleed and
Martin injured, says
the
Reclaimer. That's why he wasn't at Wembley. So and Klopp has confirmed Alisson will start tomorrow, says Owen Conway.
Yeah. That's what I see. And I just see loads of changes. Like how he doesn't rest in players. I don't think he hates resting players, Klopp. Like he never gives someone a Salah will probably play a half an hour tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's the 5 subs thing though, isn't it, Shawnee? Because he's better. He's gone on about this for ages.
Yeah. It changes everything.
Yeah.
It really does. Even look at the Champions League in Inter. Look at the way the bench affected the game. So I think you might be looking at it like that. And that should be enough to say it's true.
Yeah, and I like to be honest with you, I know it's a 5th round of an FA Cup. Norwich have to travel to Anfield to play it, and they play. I think it's home to Brentford at the weekend.
If what Laura Duffy is saying there, Gav, like they're missing.
Kabak, Aaron's.
Players that I can see that like.
Jeez.
Max Aarons is a very good player.
Kabak, Aaron's, Oide, Omo
Bamadele.
Fair play.
Bamadele, who's a good player.
Williams are out. Sorensen's is a late fitness test. So, and then on top of that,
a centre back, a right back, a striker, a centre back, and a left back. Do you know what I mean? So that's a defence that's decimated.
Kabak didn't play against us in the league, did he?
No, he's on the bench.
No, Oida didn't play either.
No, Oida's out for the season now.
But the thing is, like, on top of them, what you're looking at there, that might actually make Dean Smith turn around and go, here, you know what? I'm missing these already. I can't risk anybody else getting the problem because we played. I'm nearly sure it's Brentford at home at the weekend. So you might see some younger, very young players coming in for Norwich because, let's be honest about it, Norwich aren't going to give a shit about the FA Cup when they're fighting to strike it out.
They're playing Brentford as well, so you'd imagine the boardroom, the talk in the boardroom will be there.
Everything's on the weekend.
Yeah, don't layer on too thick tomorrow. That's a 6 pointer, like without being. That they look fucked, but if they've any chance, it's 3 points you need against someone like Brentford if you're going to be around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because the parachute payments are gone, aren't they? So, like, yo-yoing up and down now, it's not.
You see, yo-yoing up and down used to be the crack because you'd have a great time in the Premier League. You get your 150 million. You drop down, you get 60 million for 2 years, and you get your 60 million. You pop back up, you get 150 million on top of it, and you're using the 50 million that you got for going down to fund yourself for the season in the Premier League. So you're making money hand over fist. Now it's a case of, listen, if you go down, I think they get one payment now. You don't get 2, or I think it's one. The value of one payment split over 2 years, I think, is what it is. Now I could be wrong on that. I think I remember reading it. I'm sure some fucker in the chat will be able to tell us exactly what it is. Somebody's up there. Yeah, let us know. By the way, 300 people watching, 108 likes. The Reclaimer is appalled by the sounds of it. So go and hit the like button between now and the end of the show, or as you're leaving. Contrasting teams, in fairness, but you can make an argument for all of them. Luke will be ran out of town with stakes fucking on fire with that team. But listen, he mightn't be far off. He absolutely might not be far off if you're looking to use a squad. Score predictions. I know it's only Tuesday night, and you might want to see the team tomorrow before you do. But score predictions based on the team you've picked. What score? Who scores for Liverpool? Luke, you're up.
I'd say 2-0. I think Taki will score, and I think Origi will score.
Okay, nice. I love it. I love it. Minamino goal. I have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Keith, you usually 6-1. Yeah, 5-0 just this week. Sound.
Yeah, 5-0.
Okay.
And that's based on the fact that it's a cup final hangover. Now, look, genuinely, I know Norwich aren't a bad team. They are a bad team. They are a bad team. But I know, like, they done well for a few minutes against us in the league. I think the place will be hopping tomorrow. I don't think that's going to help Norwich. It's a later kickoff. It's 8:15 kickoff. Dean Smith's already raring up about that because they have to travel home then after it. I don't think they're going to have the stomach for it.
Hanley is suspended as well for Norwich, yeah.
That's it again. It's another centre back. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to have the stomach. I don't think they're going to have the personnel. I really think we're going to hop off them. I think we're going to have a mixed team. So what did I say? 4-0?
5-0.
Yeah, 5-0. I'll take 5-0.
Oh, yeah, you're sticking with it. Even though you tried to talk yourself out of it, you're sticking with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's scoring the 5 goals?
I think Tsimikas is going to get one. I think Taki is going to get one. I think I can't remember who he said is going to play, but I think all the big ones are going to play. So I think Sadio will get one, and I think Mo gets 2.
Okay. I don't even think you had Salah in your team. But
I didn't, but I have him in the squad, Gavin.
Right.
Come on and get a brace.
Okay, before me and Seany give ours, Curtis J says 3-0, G10 says 3-0, Kevin Ball has 4-0, Ali says 4-0, Bonkers has 2-0, Captain Sal has 3-0, RG Dillon has 5-0, clearly Keith Borner. Chris Brack also has 5-0. Clearly Keith told him to say that. Let me see. Tarek reckons it's a banana skin. Jono says 3-0. Jer Carl says 4-0. Seany, what are you going with?
I'm going to give Norwich a bit of respect. I'm going to say 2-0. Matip and Minamino.
Okay, Matip and Minamino. 3-1 the Reds.
I love Matip and watching him celebrate.
He's just insane, isn't
what
he?
a fucking man.
Yeah, he's just insane.
He's just not one yet. He just seems like the most understated bloke, but he looks like.
Did you see him coming in the dressing room and they're all singing, and he joins the circle and he stops?
Yeah.
And then it looks like they're going to start again just for him. It's like a kid at a birthday party that misses the cake and they go, light them candles again, will you? He missed it. He was in the toilet. It was fucking great.
He's a great bloke, and on top of that, he's a fucking brilliant footballer as well.
And they all love him. Like, they all fucking love him. Look at Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil van Dijk adores the man. He adores the ground he walks on.
That tells you how good he is.
Yeah,
Van Dijk fucking loves him.
He adores the ground he walks on. Even the way he looks at him, it's like literally like watching two people in love. He absolutely adores him. Avo has 2-1 for the Reds after extra time. Have a fucking day off, Avo, will you? Dean Smith will be going mad. He has to stay in Liverpool in a B&B. It'll be that late. He won't be able to go home. Red Steve has 9-1 or 9-1. I'm not too. It's 9-1 because it's Red Steve. 1-0 for the Reclaimer, or maybe that's 10. I'm not too sure. Jimmy Gill has 7-2. I'd love it. I'd be great crack. 2-0 is very respectful.
I don't know where they're getting 2 from.
5-0 as Suarez hat-trick.
Jerka Suarez to complete his hat-trick in injury time.
Suarez just rock up in the new kit.
An emergency loan deal. Jerka has 9-1. It's just getting fucking stupid now at this stage. By the way, the PGMOL are heartless. Denying Matip that goal, how can you take that joy away from him? Says Chris Brack. Joseph and Coyle says, Happy St. David's Day from Wales. Is that a big day in Wales? Is that like Paddy's Day in Ireland?
Yeah.
Is it? It's big, is it? Because I was going to say, look, I'm not that bleeding made up day for a day off, but no, Happy St. David's Day in Wales.
What did he do for St. David's Day, Luke? What's the gig on that? Is it a day of drinking or what? What's happening?
I don't think Luke knows what he do. Luke's frozen there.
He's more Welsh than we are. I thought you might have had an insight into these things.
Well, Luke is frozen there. If he's still there and he can hear us, the best thing to do is drop out Luke and come back on, and we'll add you back in.
Luke, blink twice if you have your hostage.
Aaron McQuaid is our McQuaid. I'm going to go with McQuaid. 2-0. With Luke's team, 1-0 to Norwich, says Veranda Cheese. He's still there, trying to annoy you, Seany. Oh, no, there, Luke's back.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Sorry, we were asking, what did he do for St. David's Day in Wales? Keith reckons you should know this. Do you know it? No. I don't
Well,
think
well, I've been living in Wales for over 10 years, so I
There you go.
should know it, but it's something that I've really not really gotten in.
So did he do what we do on Paddy's Day and just go
And go on
mental
the
and
beer.
drink a lot?
No. I remember going out after a 10-day team for St. Paddy's Day, and that was a great night. But no, the Welsh just get dressed up and
Have a little good choir or something, a nice little song.
Just lash on a Charlotte Church CD.
Yeah,
just
have
have
to land
Get
of our
dressed up if they
fathers.
want. It's on the cutlery drawer.
Fernando Cheese says St. Patrick is Welsh for fuck's sake. So what? You know what I mean?
That's what it is. Irish.
So is
cook
he
him
in
as well.
Rush. Okay. Oh, Laura Duffy says parachute payments are to remain in place for another 3 years under the terms of the TV deal. So listen, Norwich will probably bring a full strength team tomorrow.
Yeah.
Happily go down, and we'll see them in 22-23. Who is the moderator, by the way? Says Alejandro. Me. There's loads of them. Absolutely loads of them.
Loud of spanners in the chat as well.
Loads of spanners in the chat. Yeah, absolutely. 3-1 the Reds. Did I tell you that? I did. But I'm telling you again. 3-1 the Reds. Matip gets one. I think he starts centre half and he gets one. Right?
Yeah.
And somebody
He's got
pops
the
out with a
bit
cup and
between
hands
his
him the
teeth,
League Cup after he scores it. And he does a lap, just not a lap, just runs towards the corner flag and halfway up the main stand and hands it back into the crowd. Matip
I love
gets
him
one.
talking. His voice is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a mad comedy German accent.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
deadly, innit?
expect it out.
Yeah, did you see him in the dressing room? He's like, no, go away, go to Divock, go to Divock. Yeah, it's brilliant. But didn't that only come out recently about his voice? Because no one really heard him talking. And then there was something they done. Oh, do you remember when they were around the table doing that sketch?
Yeah, was it for coconut water or something?
Yeah, they were doing a sketch and they all had to come up with an idea. And Matip opened his mouth and everybody went, whoa, hit the pause button. We can't go any further here till we talk about this more. But no, Matip gets one. Oxlade-Chamberlain gets one. And I think Diaz gets one off the bench. That's what I'm going to go with. Can we make Matip captain tomorrow just to see his reaction? No, if Henderson starts, he won't be. So there you go. Matip's voice is so weird, says Kieran B. It's out of this world. Let me see. Tom possibly has bit stupid to apologise now. I don't know what that means from Kevin Ball. But what did Owen say? Missed this, says Barry Devaney. Oh, was there something going on in the chat?
No, they're talking about the PGML, the apology to everything. So they're just basically saying it's too late to apologise.
Why haven't Everton come out and insisted? And I think this would be so much crack if they insist that they replay the game from where the penalty incident happened, right? Well, they start it back with a penalty to Everton with like 8 minutes to go in an empty.
And that's like Playing Ireland asking to be the
yeah, it'd be fucking great. And and they just say, right, listen, City, Friday, 12:30ish, stall it down to Goodison, and we're gonna start the clock at 82 or 83 or whatever it is, and it's a penalty to Everton, and Rodri's on a yellow, and we go from there.
City win 4-0.
Yeah, because did you see they're ringing Everton now and saying, listen, we're sorry about that. I'd be fucking fuming if they rang me and said sorry.
Everton go down because of that result.
Yeah. Well, Burnley got beaten tonight, so they're
well, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ring Everton's ticket office tomorrow. I'm just going to say, hello. Yeah, this is Mike Riley. I just ringing you up to apologise again. I'm very sorry. I hope you understand.
Just in case anyone was out yesterday, is there anybody that was out yesterday that's in today? Yeah, put them on the line there.
Well, he rang Bill Kenroy and Frank Lampard, so there's a few tell them to pass on the message to Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah.
Listen, will you pass on a message to Duncan? This is Mike Riley again. Tell him I'm sorry. Didn't mean it. The boys won't do that again.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Oh, it's so fucking unbelievable. I'd be absolutely They are framing that apology right now, and it's going in the trophy cabinet, Gav. I actually seen something earlier where there's a picture of Bill Kenroy standing beside the trophy cabinet, right? And they photoshopped in a piece of paper with the Premier League logo on it, and just sorry underneath it. It's in the fucking. It's in, and we're laughing. It affected us. It actually affects us as much as them. But no, there was a picture out there. I think it was in our Telegram chat where it's literally it's photoshopped in where the Premier League have said sorry to them. It's up beside the league they won in '87.
Being serious for 5 minutes, you'd have to admit, like, the fact that they've kind of they've admitted blame, you don't apologise for nothing. So they've kind of like if that happens to be the points that sink everything, like you'd have to think there's a legal minefield there now that they're opening up with that.
Oh well, if they've come out and said they were absolutely wrong, and everything do go down by a point or goal difference, or even anything within 3 points.
They're in the bottom 3 now, you know that?
No, they're over.
No, they're in it now.
Who?
Everything are in the bottom 3
because
now.
Burnley were beaten tonight. So they're a
Burnley
point.
lost tonight.
Yeah, they're a point. They're a point ahead of Burnley. With a game in hand now, I think, on Burnley, because Burnley have been lashing in games over the last week or two. Yeah. But look, we're all quite confident on the Norwich game tomorrow night. We will be back tomorrow. I hope to be back. I couldn't be with you today at 2 o'clock. Something come up very last minute. But I hope to be back with you at 2 o'clock tomorrow for the COP update, where we'll get your score and team predictions and have a nice chat, cup of tea, a few biscuits, 2 o'clock. That's how we work on the COP update. Me and Kev will be back after the game tomorrow night. It'll probably be a bit later than scheduled because 8:15 you say kick off. Yeah. So you're looking at it finishing around 10, so maybe 10:15. But me and Kev will be back with full-time res as well. Shawnee, anything else before we go?
No, just saying there that big Quave is on the wall.
Is he on the wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
There he is there.
Good
right
stuff.
under David James.
Nice one.
And right under Jersey Dudek's left hand.
Deadly.
Brilliant stuff. What a man.
Lovely.
Deadly.
You'd love to see it.
Keith, anything else before we go? Were you not upset, Keith, that he sent out a blue van to put the number 9 under the League Cup wins on the Champions Walk?
No, I wasn't, Gav. I can understand why some people might get upset about things like that, but I'd like to think we're above all that sort of thing. They can send whatever colour they want. I just hope they kept the number, because they might have to switch it around, the 8 onto the something else. And how many European Cups have we won?
Do you reckon they've a room there with just a load of numbers in it?
Yeah, but I reckon they're going to reuse them. They're going to do that bit for the environment. They're not going to make a new one. So they're going to need a new FA Cup one. They're going to need a new Premier League one and a new Champions League one. So they'll just sort of shift the numbers around and use them again, which I think is a very good use of the numbers, that we're not, although we're probably taking away from the number makers, taking work off, like taking food off that table.
It's like a big game of countdown.
Yeah, but, at the same time, we're doing a bit for the environment. So, no, the blue van was fine with me, Gav. I don't give a shit, you know what I mean? If a Liverpool player came out with blue dreadlocks in his hair, fuck it.
Yeah.
Live and let live. We're not petty like that.
But if he comes out with blue on his Christmas tree...
forget about it.
Forget
about it.
Great show, lads. Thanks, as G10. Luke, a great guest too. He was great guest.
Luke.
Knows fuck all about St. David's Day, but listen, that's
down
not what
there.
he's here for.
No, I'm not against you, Luke.
You go out there, Luke. The next time we ask you about fucking David, you need to fucking tell us what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Good debut on the fixes for Luke, says Kev O'Sullivan. Absolutely.
This poor fucker can be reading history books before the next time he comes
on.
Yeah.
He's gone off to order a load of encyclopedias.
He's just going to be putting into Google on this day.
Yeah.
I didn't see the match. I didn't see the match, but did I ever tell you about the time that the Titanic went across and you've given us all this information? Well, that's the best way to approach this show.
So there you go.
Well in, Luke. Brilliant stuff, mate.
Very, very good and very, very enjoyable. Nothing from Shawnee to finish, nothing from Keith to finish. Luke, anything before we go?
I'm doing a preview later on with Callum from Coppish for UFC this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be out on Let's Talk Sport, and we're doing one on his channel as well tonight. So
Masvidal
Covington, yeah.
Good stuff. So
bit horny, that's a bit horny, that one.
if you need to know anything about UFC, boxing, wrestling, all that sort of stuff, Luke and Callum are excellent at it because Kev and Chris are always telling me that they're excellent at it. So if you need to know anything about that, check them out at Luke Tanner 257, I think, on Twitter. Am I right?
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to start using that more.
Yeah.
I need to start using Twitter more.
Exactly. Get onto Twitter and check him out at Luke Tanner. It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
257.
Luke Tanner 257. Yeah,
correct. Go and check it out. He's tagged in the tweet tonight. You'll see it. So go and check him out. We will be quizzing Luke on Sports Unplugged on Friday, says Chris Braxton. There you go. Will it be on sports or will it be on, like, you know, patron saints of certain fucking countries? Don't tell Luke. Just surprise him Friday. Great show, lads. Pity Luke picks teams like a crack addict, says Randy Cheers. But listen.
Hey, at least it wasn't Billy Cometio at centre back.
Correct.
You know, and the kid.
Yeah, so stick up your ass for Randy Cheers, right? Let me see. Luke was great. Looks like he's going straight to drink whiskey and cook brisket on the barbecue. It could be. It's St. David's Day. You know, is it David?
Yeah.
Have I got this wrong?
It is, yeah. No,
it's St. David's
still on the screen
Day,
there. St. David's Day. Fair play. Right, that has been the LFC Daytrippers. That has been the midweek fix. As I said, loads of content to come throughout the week. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. If you're listening on your audio download afterwards, do enjoy. I'll get that out ASAP. Féileacáin is our charity. Link for the link for their website is in the description if you need to know all about them, and also the donate page. We've just gone beyond 3,000 euros of the 10,000 euros. We're determined to get there by the 10th of June, and we're going to wreck your heads for the next few months. It's an unbelievable charity that everybody should be backing, and if you can donate, do so. If you can't, please go and share it all over the place. Give it to all your relations, all your friends. Let them have a look and try help us out between now and June. Bet me, we won't be doing that on the FA Cup this week, but we will be back for West Ham game, and I think Luke will be joining Chris and Kev on Friday night, so they'll be making our picks on Friday for the game against West Ham at the weekend. The link is in the description for BetMate as well. Very, very simple to join. You can play for free without depositing anything, and see if you like it, go ahead and play. And if you do, remember to do so responsibly. And the last thing is IP Vanish. It's a VPN service. They're offering a big discount to LFC Daytrippers listeners and viewers. www.ipvanish.com/Daytrippers. Just put that into your search bar on the internet. Click it. Well, on the internet, of course, on the fucking internet. Where else are you putting it? Click it and it will bring you straight to the page. You don't need to put any codes or anything in because people were getting confused last week. You're getting it for about $3.20 a month, which is a really, really good offer for a VPN if you need one. That's it. Talk to you in a bit. Over now.